Hey everybody, how you doing today? I had some apples on sale at Meijer's the other day, so I got an extra bag, and I thought today I'd make some applesauce in the blender and show you how that's done. So I'm going to start with the Pampered Chef Wedger. Make sure you keep this piece when it ships in, because you can snap that on there when you store it in your drawer, wherever you put it, so you don't cut yourself. So anyways, I'm just going to take these and push down on it. I'm always afraid to push real hard because it's my cooktop underneath. So what it does is it cores it and it gives you all these great little pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with all the apples, and then I'll be back with you in a minute. Okay, so I got all the apple chopped up. I did have one that had some bruises in it. So I'm going to take and just cut those bruises out because I don't want to put bruises in my applesauce. So I'll just do a wide cut on those. And hey, Trix, come here. Come here. Up, up, up. There you go. That's how you get rid of those bruised parts. You have little dogs that are little heathens that love to eat everything. And the rest of them actually will go into my compost bin that I have in the kitchen. Because I take all this stuff that's left over and I just put it in the compost because I can't see any sense in wasting it. And I have a lot of garden beds out in the backyard too. So now all we're going to do is we're going to cut these up. You know, depending, this is kind of a small apple, so maybe just cut them in half like that. And once I get them all cut up and thrown in the blender, we are going to make ourselves some applesauce. That's what I'm talking about. I love me some fresh applesauce that I control the ingredients in. I know what's in them. I've washed them in my Thieves vegetable cleaner, so I know they're ready to go and they're ready to make some yummy applesauce. So hang tight and I'll get those cut up. Okay, so I am done cutting that up. I want you to notice that there are peelings left on these. There's so much nutrition in the peeling, and so it's a good thing to be able to use the peeling. But when you put them in here, you'll never know those peelings are in there because this just eats it right up. It just makes a really nice smooth applesauce with all of your peelings and the apples, everything but the seeds and the stem, basically. So it also calls for a 1/4 cup of water. So I'm going to grab a 1/4 cup of water real quick here for my reverse osmosis. And let's see, 4 1/2, who knows? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I got a 1/4 cup of water. I'm going to pour that in here. So I'm going to make it on the jam setting. And the cool thing about the jam setting is that when it comes to a point where it'll say add. So if you want more sweetened applesauce, I haven't had to do that yet because it's really sweet usually. If you want a more sweetened applesauce, you could add honey or sugar, whatever you put in as your sweetener. If you can't use natural sweeteners and need artificial, that's the time you do it. But it's also the time that you would put in things like your cinnamon. And I gotta tell you, I dig cinnamon. So this is gonna look really brown when it's done, but that's because I think you ought to have tons of cinnamon. It's wonderful. It's got a lot of medicinal properties as well as it tastes super good. So I just twisted this over to the jam setting and I am gonna hit the go button. And then it's going to start mixing this all up, and it'll keep doing that as it continues to mix it, let it drop, mix it, and let it drop. So once it gets a little bit further along, I'll show you how it's moving along. So as you can see, it's only been a couple minutes. We're starting to get more of the blended look to it. So I'm just going to let it go till it gets to the add point, and then when it gets there, we'll put some cinnamon in. See you in a few. Okay, so it just beeped to let me know that it's time to add anything I want to add. So I'm going to pull off the lid. This is super hot. And I'm going to get a little bit of this out of here because I need to taste it. I'm going to have to wait for it to cool down though to see if it needs any sweetener or not. Nope. I pretty much like it just how it is. So since I'm not going to add sweetener, I can just twist this lid off right here. And then I can take my scoop and get me some cinnamon. Oh, and in case you haven't tried this, amazing, amazing cinnamon. You'll really like it. And I also like to just put a little same size scoop of just some cardamom in there because I really like cardamom. So I'm going to put the lid back on because if I don't, boiling hot applesauce may erupt. And I'm just going to hit the start button again. So I just press that and just start it again. And I'll be back when it's ready to go. Okay, it's applesauce time. This is super hot. So beware of that. And it's moments like making things like this that you're really glad that you have a self-cleaning blender. So I am just going to put this in a jar. And let it cool down for a bit. And I have a nice big jar of yummy, yummy applesauce. Ta-da! Get it over there so you can see it a little better. There you go. So now I'm just going to throw some water in here and a couple drops of soap, and I'm going to let my blender clean itself. Bon appetit!